Don't force yourself to fit in. I don't care if you're a teenager, I don't care if you're an adult. If I look back at my life, the worst times, my regrets are coming from my inability to just to be me, my inability to say no. So I was just kind of trying to fit in every way possible. I remember that I picked up a school just because my friends were going there. I picked up a sport because I wanted to be part of a group, and my friends, people, were all doing that. I went to clubs when I was starting to grow up, but I didn't like it. But I was doing it just because everybody was doing it, and I had to fit in. Otherwise, what would I do? So this happened to me because I wasn't exposed to many stimuli. I wasn't exposed to alternatives, and so just by looking around me, those were the things that everybody were doing, so I had to do them. And maybe I could have done something else, but the majority of people, again, my friend and all these, were doing certain things, so I ended up doing that thing. I ended up dressing like them to fit in. I ended up doing anything just to fit in. So I'm telling you, this is not life. I mean, it's normal. I guess it's very normal to that every one of us like go through this phase. But I see people that keep doing this also when they are grown-ups, and they pick up a job just to fit in. Just because you have to work, man. You have to behave in a certain way. You have to dress in a certain way. You have to do vacations in a certain way. You have to do everything in a certain way. Otherwise, you're weird. You're an outland, and nobody wants to. Everybody is afraid of being, authentic, and to just be themselves and not care about what everybody else is doing. This is an inner strength that you develop when you embark on this journey of inner discovery, of inner growth, the inner work that we all must do. Otherwise, you will just think you're doing fine, but actually you are just doing what other people want you to do, what other people expect of you, and you're not free. And every one of us is looking at some level for freedom. Whether you get that from successes, from your job, your relationship, and so on, it's that kind of freedom that we get after we achieve something. But that's very quick. That's very superficial. We want something deeper. We want a kind of freedom that stays, that is stable, and we can only find that within ourselves, of course, not trying to accomplish anything outside of us. And also to stop worrying about doing what everybody else is doing, because over there we cannot find the answer. We cannot find our freedom. I don't think I even have to explain myself on this. It's very clear. If you just think for a moment, you cannot find freedom over there. So you gotta stop trying to fit in, and you gotta start questioning whatever you're doing. Look around you, and if you're doing something like everybody else is doing, question that thing, because it's probably better for you to drop it and to inquire yourself, do I really want to do this? Is this the right thing for me to do in life in general, but right here, right now? and start to do some inner work, some introspection and so on, so you can figure out shit by your own. And because the answer are already within you, and it is just you that has to look for them. And we've been our whole life looking in the wrong place outside of us. We have to use the outside to do the inner work, because outside is reflecting something that we gotta look at. Okay. Many people don't agree with this, because there are people and situations that can trigger you a lot, and you say, okay, I can take in consideration the fact that the world and what I experience, it's a reflection, but I am not even close to this kind of anger, to this kind of fear, to this kind of anxiety, to this kind of unconsciousness, ignorance, fear and so on. But sometimes the mirror, it just gives you something that big, because there is still something within you, not that big, but there is still something within you that otherwise you would not look at if something big, that big, wasn't bothering you, wasn't triggering you. So I understand that maybe you don't have that kind of things within you to work on, but there is an aspect of it. There is the essence of it, and for the inner work, it doesn't matter the degree, it doesn't matter the form, the quantity, and so on. If there is still, like, more or less, it doesn't matter. In God's sight, that doesn't matter. There is no small or bigger miracle. There is no big or little mistake. There are just mistakes and there are just miracles. So miracles can happen to everything, and at the same time, if there is some mistake within us, whether it is big or small, we have to look at it. And so these situations that are kind of impossible to imagine that we have within ourselves to deal with, they are showing something that it's still there. So we gotta be able to not to react, to accept that, to see that as part of the oneness, as part of ourselves, because everything it's our reflection and so on. Coming back to the fact that you don't have to fit in, be yourself, explore, make mistakes, but if it does, listen to yourself, because if something doesn't feel right, man, you don't have to do it. You don't hate that things that you've been doing for so long and now you want to stop doing it, you want to change and so on. Have a compassion for yourself. You didn't know any better. It was supposed to happen this way. It's part of the perfect unfolding. You know, you gotta embrace this affirmation, because they carry power and they allow you to live serene in the present moment. These affirmations are not a way to escape what we have to face. It's a matter of putting ourselves in a certain state, vibrational state, and from there we live life. Because if we let circumstances, problems and so on to dictate our inner state, we are just gonna create more of that. But if we are stable inside, in due time also our circumstances will stabilize. So do the inner work, don't try to fit in, enjoy this very moment. It contains everything you need. You just gotta find it within yourself. I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. As always, peace, love. I believe in you.